Today is Friday, October 3rd, 2025. Welcome to This Week in Natural Refrigerants News, where we recap the top stories on naturalrefrigerants.com.
This podcast is generated and read by artificial intelligence and may contain pronunciation errors.
We're your hosts, AT.
And Mo, and the articles for today's podcast were organized by naturalrefrigerants.com's managing editor and written by its writers.
You can find links to each article in the show notes.
Okay, so quite a bit to cover this week. We've got some significant environmental forecasts and some major policy shifts happening. Let's start in Europe with those atmosphere F-gas projections.
Yeah, I saw that. The numbers around mobile air conditioning, the MSC sector, they were, well, pretty surprising, actually, even assuming things like the 2035 ban on new combustion engine cars and potential PFAS restrictions.
Right.
The amount of trifluoroacetic acid, TFA, mostly from HFO 1234.5, it's still projected to quadruple between 2015 and 2034. Quadruple.
That's the core finding, yeah. The atmosphere team crunched the numbers, and they see that annual TFA generation peaking somewhere around 8,000 metric tons in 2034.
8,000.
Yeah. And what that tells you is just how much momentum the current HFO use has. It kind of locks in that peak over the next decade, even with those optimistic assumptions baked in.
But it's not all bad news there, is it? I mean, the projection does show a decline after 2034.
Exactly. There's a definite shift expected.
And that lines up with what we're seeing in the electric vehicle space, right? Manufacturers moving to naturals like CO2, propane.
That's the driver. You look at Hannon Systems, they just announced they've already made over 1 million CO2 electric compressors.
1 million already.
For PHEVs and BEVs. So that kind of volume, it's starting to really, pull the market towards naturals in that sector.
Okay, interesting. Speaking of impressive engineering, let's talk about high-temperature applications. There was news from Enerin in Switzerland this week.
Ah, yes, the helium heat pump. That's quite something.
Helium, right, R704. So Enerin is installing this 1.2 megawatt Hochtemp V12 unit. It's going into a Roche facility.
And the output is what's really remarkable. It's designed to produce steam at 171 degrees Celsius.
Wow, that high.
Yes, at 6 bar pressure. And the key thing for you, especially for industrial heat, is that massive temperature lift. They're getting from 2 degrees C up to 171 C.
In one go.
In a single step.
Yeah.
Uses a specific Stirling system designed to achieve that efficiency.
And that capability hasn't gone unnoticed in the States, I gather.
No, definitely not. Enerin is apparently going for UL certification for the Hochtemp unit now.
Makes sense.
And they're already talking to Columbia University about potentially installing one there.
Okay, one to watch then. Now let's pivot across the pond to the U.S., some regulatory turbulence with the EPA's technology transitions rule.
Yes, significant proposed delays here. This has really stirred things up.
So the proposal is to push back the start date for those GWP limits, the 150 or 300 limits for new retail food and cold storage.
Right, the ones set for 2026, 2027.
They want to delay those until January 1st, 2032. That's a big jump.
It is, a 5 or 6 year delay. And in the meantime, they're proposing these temporary interim limits.
Okay.
1,400 GWP for retail food refrigeration and 700 GWP for cold storage.
Well.
So much higher limits for quite a while.
And the industry reaction, I imagine it's not uniform.
Not at all. Completely split, really.
Yeah.
You have groups like FMI, the Food Marketing Institute. They applauded it. They mentioned, unrealistic compliance timelines in the original rule.
Okay.
But then you have others like AHRI and ANSRD who've, invested heavily based on the original timeline. They're strongly opposing this delay.
What are their main concerns?
Market disruption, the risk of stranded assets for equipment already developed, and potentially higher long-term costs because of the uncertainty and now this extended timeline. It creates a real headache for manufacturers.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, let's shift focus again, this time to Asia, a success story from China with CO2 heat pumps.
That's right. Foshan LYD energy-saving technology.
Right.
They seem to be gaining some serious traction.
The numbers look good, 140 installations in China, another 50 internationally. What kinds of applications are we seeing?
It's quite varied, actually.
Yeah.
Lots of hot water and HVAC systems for hotels. They highlighted one in Macau that's saving $5,000 a day since replacing a gas boiler.
Wow, that's significant savings.
Definitely. And they're also involved in pharmaceutical projects, again, mentioning Roche, where the corporate GWP policy is very strict, less than 7.
Okay.
And sort of a unique one providing quick heating for high-speed train repair shops. Apparently, these places are often unheated, so a fast-acting system is needed. CO2 works well there.
Interesting niche. All right, finally, let's head down to Latin America, a milestone in commercial refrigeration in Colombia.
Yes, Al Costo. The hypermarket chain. They've just opened their first store using transcritical CO2.
The first one for them. Whereabouts?
In Bogota, out in the Mosquera suburb. It's a German TECO system installed by Weston TECO Americas. Pretty substantial capacity. 162 kilowatts medium temp, 24 low temp.
And naturals throughout.
Well, mostly. They also incorporated 30 self-contained island units using R290 propane.
Okay. And what's driving this adoption in Colombia? Is it catching on quickly there?
It seems to be picking up pace fast. A big part of it, according to the article, is significant government support.
Ah, incentives.
Exactly. Purchase incentives for low GWP equipment, things like tax exemptions, income tax deductions. It really helps lower that initial investment hurdle for retailers.
Right. Makes you think about the different approaches, regulation versus incentives, and which one really accelerates things globally.
It certainly helps make the business case clearer faster when there's direct financial support like that.
This is AT.
And MO, and this has been the Week in Natural Refrigerant News.